This is not a test. Don't expect to be impressed. Put on your life vest. Sit down your armrest. It's time to stray from the grind. Don't take my hand, 'cause you'll find no peace of mind. Side quest.
Hey everybody, welcome to Side Quest, the podcast that we do when we're not doing the podcast that you know we do. I am Drew Hayes, back with my ever-confusing intros. Joining me today are Rick Will Terry, MK Gibson, and Steve Weatherall.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Today we've got a couple of topics. Of course, we're going to be talking about the upcoming A&D DigiCon, along with some other con stuff. You know that because you saw that in the title. But before then, we're gonna take a little game break. We're gonna talk about what we've all been playing. I was trying really not to just rip off the exact wording from How Did This Get Played, but it happened, and so now we're all gonna have to live in that.
I should say,
This isn't a mimic chest, you son of a bitch.
Speaking of games, the reason you're getting double side quest, or an interlude, if you will, dear listener, is because the main game is coming. Just not quite yet. So something to look forward to, Dicey Bastards.
So you might say the main game is edging.
It's edging.
I feel like that's aimed at me somehow. It's not my fault. I keep reaching out to folks about information. It's getting pushed back. And,
The main
Emily's
game
like,
is
oh, I'll check
edging.
my setup this weekend. I'm like, you damn it, woman. I did talk to her, by the way. So I got some information.
Yep, this is Gibby's initiation, edging the rest of us.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
Welcome to the DM chair, give
Yeah, but
Well, not really. You've been running the game for a while, but
edging is fun, but it all just ends up in a 3-pump dump afterwards. So yeah, it feels great, but it does not last long. So
Well, and I mean, in all fairness, Salty Bastards kind of ended on that anyway.
I was gonna say,
I
we're really
saw-
bringing the end salty bastards energy to this podcast already.
Yeah. If you were listening to the grand finale of Salty Bastards and thought, surely that can't be it. Surely they didn't just cowardly run away from their responsibilities. Well, yes, they did. That is the end of the Salty Bastards, and it was an entirely fitting ending. But some of the characters will return.
I don't know how much responsibility those characters felt to the dick building they were told they owned.
No, yeah.
I mean, you had an entire friggin' you guys were essentially lords of your own manor until you just burnt it to the goddamn ground.
We were lords of our own manor, but it was horrible. It was
It
a
was a
horrible
manor that
manor.
needed to be burnt to the ground. We looked at it, and for once, we did the right thing.
It was a horrible, sticky manor.
Yeah.
Not even Jawsera felt a lick of nostalgia walking away from its utter destruction.
So maybe don't use Jorser and lick in the same sentence.
Yeah, good point. We've already ruined the phrase "coming soon." Let's not ruin any more phrases.
Ah.
that is true.
Well, on the subject of D&D style games, I know that Steve and I have both started playing Baldur's Gate 3 because we did it on the Brodeo stream a couple of days ago from the point of when we were recording this. And
Bring back Cat Quest with this newfangled stuff. I want to see you guys at the Cat Quest. No.
you can go watch both of those and see what you like better over at our YouTube page.
My son likes Cat Quest. So
It is a fun game.
I
To be
love
it
honest.
is.
Cat Quest.
I played that. I've played the duo with my son, and we had a blast doing that. So
Cat
Yeah.
Quest and then Ember Knights have both been a lot more fun than I thought they'd be, but
We
we're
returned to
probably
them
going to
all,
spend a few more games in Baldur's Gate 3 because man, that is a D&D game made into a video game in a way that I honestly did not think was really possible.
So far, it seems to have been a very true to form translation of the D&D experience, and we haven't been playing that long, but already it's like, oh, this is like mechanically, they haven't chickened out too much. They've really tried to keep that D&D feel, and I got to say, I've been putting off downloading Baldur's Gate for a while now
all right,
because
as someone who's not played the game, like when you say the D&D feel, like I know how I play D&D. I know how you all play D&D. I know all. Can you bring that kind of insanity into that game, or is it one of those highfalutin kind of D&D games?
1000% you can bring that kind of insanity. We haven't really gotten to do it too much on the Brodeo stream, obviously, because we just started. And in my own game, I've been playing a little bit more straightforward. But there's lots of stories of people just going through and killing quest specific characters without issue. We already mentioned get played when I accidentally ripped off their catchphrase earlier. So I'll mention the story of Heather and Campbell has been telling of where she accidentally slaughtered an entire village in the early part of her playthrough
It's
and
easily done.
spent the next 2 acts just constantly dealing with the fallout of every time her character walks into a village or something. Like, it's you monster, we know what you did.
See, that gives me hope, because any fans out there from back in the day from the old Fable games, which I grew up, I loved, I played the shit out of those. Like, once you do a few bad things, the villagers just knew who you were, and I love that the AI in there knew your bad deeds and constantly reminded you of that. So that warms my heart.
It is super reactive.
I'm
Fantastic.
a little different in that, especially when, like, it's a case of leave no survivors. But it's like playing Red Dead Redemption. You'd I don't know, find a stagecoach in the middle of nowhere, shoot the people, and suddenly you're wanted by the law. And it's like, who the hell, like, who ratted me
Who
out?
saw me? This is bullshit. Like, who's the narc?
Quit
Yeah.
judging me, game. Nobody saw it, so it doesn't count.
I killed the hooker in Grand Theft Auto, but she didn't see it. There was no witnesses.
Oh,
I like the
So-
Grand Theft Auto, forgiveness. It's like you've been arrested, all your horrific crimes against humanity are now reset and forgiven.
you
Go
paid your
forth and-
debts to
yeah.
society.
It took you 5 minutes, but you have. It doesn't matter that you spiraled Toyota into a sex worker for no other reason other than you thought it would look cool, and it did.
I've mentioned this before, but years back, there was this Star Trek Voyager game that gave you, like, full reign when you were on the ship to, like, use weapons and stuff. And the game would end if you killed one of the main crew. But essentially, it'd be like, okay, you just vaporized Chakotay. We're giving you 30 days in the brig.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay. I mean, if it's Neelix, do they promote you or what?
See, part of like, when it comes time for you all's game, do I give you that option? Like, can you steal a carriage, run it through an orphanage on fire, but as long as you drive the carriage into a place and paint it a new color, like all your sins are forgiven? Like, oh, totally different guys, totally different people.
Yeah. See, I'm
I mean, you
kind
say
of
that
with
like
you.
we're not going to try it and find out.
Oh,
If we
I
leave
can't
no
wait.
Stay tuned,
leave no
listeners. Stay
witnesses in
tuned.
I keep saying a natural 20 and a natural 1 are my two favorite things, because both are going to be epic no matter how this goes, and I'm in for it.
I'm kind of with Gibby. If I want people berating me for my horrible deeds, I will just go outside. I don't need that shit in video games.
I have an ex-wife. I know the deal.
I do actually want to clarify one thing with Gibby. When you mentioned loving the Fable games, you mean 1 and 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I think everyone on the internet has generally agreed with the same consensus that I felt playing that game to sheer disappointment of, what the fuck is this horseshit with Fable 3?
Fable 3 felt like the B team was writing. It's kind of like how I felt about Borderlands 3. Like, in the exact same way, meaning it plays better, it's more beautiful, it's well better done, but the B squad took over the writing, and it is nowhere near as good as 1 and 2. In Fable 2, like, I actually was playing a villain. I was playing a villain. I mean, I was evil from day one, but I got a chance to get back with the girl from the first act. I'm like, oh, I'm going to redeem myself. I bought a house by a lake, and I was walking her to the house, like, settle down for, like, I'm going to be a good guy now. I'm going to change my ways. A ballerine comes out of nowhere and kills this character, but she wasn't meant to die because the game glitched, and she just floated in midair in a death animation. I just stood there and stared at it for a while, and then Emperor Palpatine spoke to me during that time, and I took a dark turn, my friends. I laid waste to the fucking countryside after that. And I tried to be good. I wanted to be good. I tried to turn away from my dark ways, and the universe said, fuck them all and let it burn. And I did. 20 years later, and I still remember this as clear as day.
I think you're going to love Baldur's Gate 3, but...
Fantastic. Yes.
So obviously Rick and Gibby are not playing that one yet. What are y'all currently enjoying your gaming time on?
Rick, what are you playing?
So I'm not playing any like quote unquote real games right now, because the last real game I played, and it was a choice between Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield, and I figured I'd play Starfield first. Except, spoiler alert, the way Starfield ends just pissed me off so much that was, at that point, it was just like, okay, I'm video gamed out now. I need to take a break. Like, And it's not even that the way the game ends. The way the game gives you a choice between continuing versus starting a new game. It's very unclear. So if you choose this one choice, essentially you start a new game and you lose every fucking thing you have accomplished. Except it's not really clear, up front. It was like, okay, all right, let me take this choice. Wait, where all my shit go? Where did this ship I just spent hours fucking customizing go? And yeah, that was kind of a big fuck you. So I've actually just been in my spare time just playing a few mobile games, mostly just puzzle shit, just to kill the time.
Toilet time.
I had a similar but opposite experience with Tears of the Kingdom, which was addictive as fuck, and you just wanted to stay in the world and immerse yourself. But there was a story, and you could finish it, and the ending was good, and the ending was satisfying. But once you finished it, you were like, I don't want to play this game anymore. and I'd just been having so much fun just wandering around, building death machines to torture goblins for a long time. There was a whole stuff that needed to be resolved. It's like, fuck you, I'm busy. I'm having too much fun here, cooking a meal and also a goblin. But then
but it wasn't good enough for you salty bastards.
Well, I was playing a different character. This is Link. He's a total sociopath. But
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as you finish it, you're like, wow, that was really great, and it resolved everything. What a wonderful tale. And now I can't just wander around murdering people anymore. I haven't touched the game since. The ending was good enough to ruin the game for me, but in a very different way.
I put that ending off so long. I did every shrine and got the fancy armor thing. I wasn't even trying for it. I just was like, I gotta go do this first. I gotta go do this first. And finally, I was like, fuck, I'm almost completionisting this fucking game just because I don't want it to end.
That's the mark of a good game.
Yeah,
I did that with Ghost of Tsushima, and it was just like, let me do every side quest imaginable because I'm having so much fun with this game, and I know when it's over, it's just gonna be like, well, you can wander the land and kill random thieves, and I'm like, yeah, but why?
See, for me, my big addiction is because friend of the podcast and obviously friends of our art world, Sandy Butchers. She and I are Destiny 2 addicts. We met at an author's Facebook group, but we bonded because we played the same video game. We joined the same online clan together. We played together for years. We just played together again last night. We love this game. But unfortunately, Bungie's in a creative drought right now, and the next big expansion was pushed back 6 months. So the entire community is dying, and we're trying like hell to keep finding something to love about this game. We keep coming back to it. It's to the point where I play a lot of PvP that she does not, but I'm trying to get better and compete against 14-year-old children with better reflexes and twit. I'm 48, but I'm doing my best to try to work my way up the PvP ranks because it's all I got left right now. I love this world. I love when science and space magic come together. That's why I love Star Wars. I don't want hard sci-fi. I want science fantasy, and that's exactly what this game is. And it does everything I want from a narrative standpoint, except for tell a cogent story. But I love this game, and I'm a slave, and I'm hopelessly addicted to it. I try other games. I mean, whenever I have got the PlayStation version of Game Pass, so games come all the time free. So I get the last Far Cry. I was playing the shit out of that, and then because I love an open world game, we have infinite amount of things to do, and then I get really bored about the 30th hour in. I can't keep going anymore. It never fails.
I think Baldur's Gate 3 is my future to possibly a worrying degree, but I would like to think that one day I will return to Tears of the Kingdom and just play from each corner of the map to each corner of the map, no teleporting, dressed only in underpants and the tingle hat. That's my ambition.
See, I did that with Skyrim.
Ganon's nightmare.
Yeah, I did that with Skyrim. They say I would go to one corner of the map and I'm going to walk from here to there and see what happens along the way. And I love that.
I was going to do a playthrough, a replay of Skyrim because we had wound up getting the Sony, I guess the Sony VR version, except it was so fucking terrible, the controls. I was just like, no. the controls of the old Sony VR system was just so terrible. Of okay, let me teleport here, let me do that. It just took a fun game and just made it work.
I think I'll never play Skyrim because I was always disappointed it wasn't a porno set in an airplane.
Well, speaking
not-
of
I'm
a
not
corner set
acknowledging
in an airplane,
Segue from that, Drew.
Yeah, segue. That's a good segue.
let's talk about Authors and Dragons DigiCon.
Oh wow, that turned out to be
That's actually not bad.
pertinent.
yeah, yeah.
So Bevan's whacking it at home. Okay.
Yeah. So for once, no one's gonna have to covertly crank it on a Delta flight to somewhere in the country, because if you have not gotten the news, our convention this year will be all digital. Jazz
Covertly.
hands.
Hooray!
Well,
More
over it.
internet for everybody.
Yeah, we're doing it to be accessible so everybody can attend, and also because holy shit, convention spaces have shot up in costs post-COVID to the point where let's just say that we would not have been comfortable charging what it would have been required to break even for a weekend with us stupid assholes.
True.
Which I guess portrays that we have a moral core, which means we should probably get out of the podcasting game, but we're here for now, and we're going to see it through for at least another year.
Well, no, amoral, just not non-capitalistic. Like, I don't want to charge. I mean, I will damn your soul, but I don't want to take too much money away from you to do it. So
Yeah. We're monsters. We're not monsters. Jesus.
yeah.
So for our con this year, we were gonna just kind of shoot the shit. We're starting the planning this far out, which is definitely the way we always do things. We're certainly getting to going months in advance on all our projects, tinkering behind the scenes, getting things perfected. You just don't normally see it, but this is definitely the norm. So I thought we would talk about maybe some of the cons that we have done with some best practices, or cons that we're looking forward to, and see maybe if there's any ideas that we can be inspired by, if you will. Gibby, you said you did a con recently, right?
Yeah, but that was a bad one. It's like, here's the thing. That con is so bad that you can go onto TikTok and find, like, I'm not going to out the guy who did it. He's got enough shit on his plate. I'm not going to, because it was a situation where it was a convention. It was up in Pennsylvania. I got contacted by the person putting it on, and they've done a lot of these cons with different names over the years. And I did one for this gentleman a couple of years ago. Said, "Hey, you want to come out and be a vendor?" I said, "Fantastic." I showed up on Friday, only to find out the people who showed up on Thursday, they overbooked vendors. They overbooked everybody. There was the spaces that you paid for were not the spaces that you got. It turned it to become a first come, first serve. I luckily got a space in a hallway. That's it. One of the guests, who's like the body double for like Darth Vader, and he was also, if you ever saw Guardians of the Galaxy, he's the big blue alien that stole Peter Quill's headphone and Walkman. That actor was there, but they put him in a space that no one could find. And so he's not making sales, he's not making signings, he's not doing autographs or like that because they hid him away so damn bad. Vendors were like so bad, like people recorded like a lot of put it all up on TikTok, so you can find it. It's all information's out there, but it was so bad. Like there were no best practices. That I broke even and I walked the fuck away. That's it. I made my table fee back. I made my hotel room back. I paid for my meals and I just drove the fuck home. Because it was
it sounds like you showed up and they handed you like a silver mask and said, "Hide behind this mirror," while Willy Wonka over here gives a speech.
Oh no! If Willy Wonka like bent the Oompa Loompas over and made you watch, and like it just that's what this con was like. It was. Oof. Now the vendors were cool, the people were cool. Unfortunately, the staff putting it on, they were doing the best because the person in charge couldn't pull their head out of their ass. So teach their own. Not outing them by name. I just will never work with them again, ever.
That does sound bad, but Rick does raise a good point of Willy's chocolate experience, which I think will probably go down in history as the worst convention in history.
After you guys mentioned that, I went down that rabbit hole on YouTube and TikTok, like, oh my God.
It's inspiring.
It keeps on giving.
Because the guy who did it is an absolute fraudster and not a very good one. Like comically bad fraudster. But the people
like the guy who
up,
looks up to the guy who did Fire.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watch SpongeBob or not, or have ever watched it, but it's like a real life version of this episode where SpongeBob's cheap boss, Mr. Krabs, essentially builds a playground for kids out of garbage.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But there's a silver lining to that, and everybody's probably seen the sad Oompa Loompa screenshot of this woman dressed as an Oompa Loompa who just looks like she wants to die. Turns out those actors are actually really nice, hardworking actors. And they're putting on this kind of mini horror experience with the characters from that con, because there's no way this guy has copyright because he's dodgy as fuck. So all those actors are now kind of getting work as these weird kind of alternate universe Willy Wonka characters.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy can't copyright Roald Dahl's Willy Wonka characters.
Right. You can't just wish.com a famous author and say it's yours. It's not going to happen.
I love the
apparently you can.
This is stupid.
I was like,
unknown
I think
character.
there's a few books based on that one.
Yeah.
True. Fair enough, actually.
But I know one thing we'll definitely have at DigiCon is a Dicey Bastards game. And if you're wondering what the fuck is Dicey Bastards, A, get on our social media. We've been putting shit out there. There's a lot of cool shit there. And B, well, why don't we ask MK Gibson about that one?
I don't fucking know. I keep trying to figure it out. Okay, so many months ago, I was talking to Steve and Bob, and Steve says, I'm supposed to run the next game, and I haven't run the next main game. I'm like, oh, it sucks, man. Good luck. He's like, can you do it? I'm like, you fuck. But I mean, I immediately jumped on it. So I started spitballing ideas and things like that, talking to the players who wanted to play. And we came up with a concept for the same A&D that you love, the same dick jokes, same everything, but told in a slightly different way. A few bells and whistles, a little bit more heist kind of feel to it. What if you got a crew together that are a bunch of a-holes? What if they have to do some more thefts and heists and do all these things before the other standard fantasy adventures start to begin? And it started to steamroll. So we worked on a whole new way of presenting this. You'll see it once it's coming out. You saw some of the experimentations in the last Salty Bastards game with some more of the art-based images from our players. For those who've seen it on the Discord, obviously you saw the awesome opening that Steve put together, like that, the music that thanks to Stone Cold Ian, the video work done by Mr. Weatherall. It's like, I'm stoked where this project's going to go, and hopefully I'm not hyping it too much because it just turns into a shit show. But damn it, we're going to do it no matter what.
No, do that. That's funny. If we can Willie's chocolate experience this whole deal, I'm in.
I'd also like to say, if you're holding out hope that this won't be a shit show, I would highly recommend you align your expectations.
Okay, see, here's part of me's hoping for like a poop voyeur as opposed to a shit show. Like, it's still gonna be shit, but let's class this shit up a little bit, okay?
I'll just point out, if you're not on the Discord, you should get your ass on the Discord, because they've seen the trailer that Steve put together using Sandy Butcher's artwork, and like as fabulous as you guys no doubt remember the original A&D podcast opening. This just feels like on a whole different level.
I will also tack on to Rick. If you want to know how to join that A&D Discord, you need to go to patreon.com/authorsandragons, where you can sign up and get access to our Discord.
No, I've had a lot of fun putting this together, a lot of cool ideas. Brainstorming some ideas with some of the players of what they want and they don't want, and what they want to feel and do. It's been a really big creative focus for me, and I'm really enjoying the work. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to run this. Hopefully I don't fuck it up too bad. I'll just leave that to you. I'll act like I was in charge the whole time, and I'll just pass the blame on to you guys when things go wrong. So
all right, you definitely got the DM spirit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If Bevan was here, he'd be listening to you being all enthusiastic about this and thinking,
yeah,
how can I fuck this up? Forgive me.
Well, here's the fun thing. So Drew had to deal with with Silas fucking shit up every time you turn around. Rick had to deal with Metallica Zam, just going out of his way to cause chaos. You have to deal with both.
Okay, so it's funny you mentioned that.
Operated with absolute efficacy.
So it's funny you mentioned that, because I forget which podcast we were on, but someone says exactly, I fucked over Drew. Drew fucked me over. Gibby, have you pissed off Drew? Is he going to come for you? Or maybe you've earned a couple of months of good graces before he decides to fuck with your shit. And I'm like, yeah, bring it. I don't care if everything implodes, because it's your world. I just help you roll the dice and guide you to the next insane adventure. So.
It's your world. If you want to burn it down, go ahead.
Metallica there had a reason for everything.
I am not arguing with that.
So did Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Which was the guy
Look,
that
the
talked to
character
dogs.
believed he was a god. I mean, you can't apply standard morality to that. Whether he was right or not, maybe one day we'll find out. I don't know if that ever actually came up in game, but yeah, Metallicazam believed he was the god of the Warforged.
I think
That's
we're
fantastic.
all too afraid to try and converse with Metallicazam on
Yeah.
anyway.
I got the impression that like whenever the party took a long rest, they just like left Metallicazam off in a corner and didn't speak to him at all.
Well, the funny thing is that I don't believe Warforged sleeps, so I love the idea of everybody resting, and then anytime you wake up, Metallicazam is just sitting there staring.
Everybody just wakes up like, ah! Oh, right.
Just goes into like a low power mode, like Bender. Just watch it kill all humans. Kill all humans. And I just realized, like, when I ran the murder brawl for everybody, that one shot that turned into three adventures. So, like, when you guys were just having that free for all murder thing, everyone who played in that is playing in the Dicey Bastards. So I have played with everybody. So that actually works out.
That's
So,
true, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
because that's when we discovered like Emily has this like that pyromania. So like, fuck,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
great.
Well, yeah, Emily's got a dark side.
Yeah,
She's creative. That's I believe the only character from the Murder Brawl crossing over is Claudia, so that should be fun.
yeah. I play with all the same players, but the only character, Emily from the Murder Brawl is coming back over. So like, or Claudia, that'd be
You
fun.
always,
All right.
always need a demolitions expert.
You do always need a demolitions expert.
In fact, I think I will start her with several packs of dynamite. So just
Why not?
like, I think it was what's that Disney movie, the Atlantis with the Frenchy guy who's like blows shit up like that. I want that, but with the Claudia's bear hat. So
I'm sure she'll surprise us explosively.
Yeah,
Or
oh
less.
yeah, I feel like there's no greater hook for come check out the first episode than I'm starting Emily off with dynamite.
well, okay. I'll say this I will say this for the fans. We've got some cool things planned. We're planning a game 0 and a game 0.5 before game 1 starts. But they'll all come out like regularly scheduled. Like, we're building a little bit of a story here, so you got to stick with us. And this will be fun. I've worked with some Steve on a few things behind the scenes of how I want some of these things to go. I mean, these are just some rough ideas, however the players take them, how the players take them. But I see some really fun, dumb shit coming our way. So
That's pretty much a given. If after 7 years we stop doing fun, dumb shit, I don't know what's gone wrong with that. And I will, hold you entirely responsible.
It's Authors and Dragons, the highbrow edition.
no, I mean, I'm not gonna make do like because we were joking around about the Crow. I'm not gonna make them look like. Not every character is gonna be young and hip and look like a SoundCloud rap artist with face tattoos or anything like that. No, this will be middle-aged man dumb idea of fun. So it'll be mostly
The
butthole
best
jokes.
kind of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck you, Gen Z.
So we're starting off talking about best practices
Oh, sorry.
a while ago. Oh no, I threw to you for the plug. I was rooting us back around because I thought of a good best practice. It's not one that I could necessarily see being applicable to the DigiCon, but you know what? I think it's a cool one to toss out because I'd love to see more cons do it. Honestly, it's oh man, we always call it RTD. It's a romance one. I went to with Matt Dineman last year in Denver. Convention. I need to look up the actual name of it.
Yes, that's the one you said. Everybody, the authors when you were talking about, like
Romance to Dick.
romancing the dick.
You just created a whole new genre.
Well, I'm going back there this year, but the Readers Take Denver. There it is. So
Yeah,
it's
Denver
Readers
was the
Take
one in
Denver.
Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up in Denver. But one of the things they did that I thought was really cool was the people who attended. One of the things they got was this autograph book. And within an autograph book was the names of all of the authors who had booths there, guests, vendors, etc. So they took the books around. And there was, I think, like a raffle or a prize for everybody who got the books signed by every author. And so what it did was it really encouraged everybody to stop by every single booth and talk long enough to get a signature. And
That's smart.
Yeah,
I
I
like
was
that.
really blown away by like that is such a good idea, a smart idea, a way
I will
to
sign everybody's screen at once. There we go. That's
yeah,
we're
a
gonna
way
go
to
digital.
naturally kind of encourage that growth that we've run con, we ran A&D con in person for several years. We've seen that there is often a tendency to cluster around the names that might be a little more well known, and kind of leave other people not given a chance to tell you what their wares are. And I thought that was just a great way that made everybody happy. The readers got something, and then there was a prize waiting for them. The vendors felt a greater degree of engagement from the audience. Even if they didn't buy anything, you had a chance. Like someone was there, someone was talking to you. You can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, that is a really good idea,
That's brilliant, actually. Yeah.
and I mean, yeah, we should definitely steal it.
Absolutely. So if you're out there running a con or anything, just know that as a vendor, I fucking loved that, and I would love to see it in more of them. And I'm going back to Rome to Readers Take Denver 2024, and partially because I loved the way they treated their guests and vendors, with
That would be a fun one to
considerations
do.
like that.
Currently, all my cons are like, can I get there in 12 hours of driving? That's my 12 hours or less. Can I get there driving? Because I hate flying. I don't mind flying. I just hate shipping things and flying there, and it just the cost. Because of like it's until I have a higher level name, it is not worth. It's not that it's worth my time. I love my fans. I love people, but you got to take how many tax hits you can. So
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah,
Currently, I can't drive to America, so I don't really have a choice.
You gotta believe in yourself, Steve. I've seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I know there's a way.
like not to suck our own dicks here, but for the conventions I've gone to, I mean, I like a lot of the mistakes they've made. I think we've fixed for for the in-person A&D cons. Like, I just love the whole concept of like, well, our quiet rooms, our game rooms have been great, but I also love that camaraderie of. Which is going to be hard to do in a digital thing, but that if you see somebody there, like, who kind of looks by themselves, assuming it's not kidnapping, go and grab them and drag them into the action. Make them part of it.
You know,
Um,
and that's actually a really good point, Rick. I think that's something that we could replicate to a degree, for the DigiCon. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be the same experience for people who watched on YouTube, but what we could do is organize some set gaming times on our Discord. So we can play, we've done a lot of board games. Steve and I did a whole Brodeo board game month a few years back. So we could do games with the patrons on the Discord, and then that could be something we streamed out to the YouTube audience. So in a way, we could kind of keep our gaming space that we know people really liked and enjoyed. And obviously we couldn't do that with the YouTube audience, but we can share the results. And if you want to play along, we're giving you plenty of notice of where to be.
well, we could attempt something with a YouTube live, where, like, okay, so for example, we've done our choose your own shingles. That might not be the worst idea to put out to a YouTube live, and obviously there's a little bit of a delay there, but be like, okay, choose which one we go with, or so, which the story ideas.
True. Yeah, a bit of interactivity on that. We could do that streaming.
As long as I don't have to figure out the tech aspects of it, I'm fine with it.
That'd basically be Brodeo, but we're not playing a game. We're just chatting shit.
Oh, and Steve, how smoothly does Brodeo go week to week?
Oh, well, now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing that for what, 4 years?
DCon, the practice I enjoy, like whenever you guys have intentional downtime, like the main cast is not on a stage or anything like that. It is like for this next 40 minutes or an hour block, it's like just mingle. And it helps. It helps the vendors, but it also helps the fans just hang out with other fans, because like they're not compelled to like go run to the next thing and run to the next thing. They have time to just like meet and mingle, kind of thing. So any DigiCon kind of thing, like this next hour will be like, hey, talk amongst yourselves, but like any one of us can hop in there, just be in the conversation, but we're not there to quote entertain.
I just to pull it back to that video idea. YouTube Live might be a little bit iffy, but TikTok Live actually works, assuming TikTok's still around. But TikTok Live, especially bringing in multiple people, works pretty darn well. So that, I mean, we have a presence on TikTok. Both A&D and I know at least I do. That might be something there. to just drag people in and be like, hey guys, we're doing this. Anybody can join. And the commenting and live feature there, I think, works considerably better than YouTube Live. So
I'll
just
say-
something to consider.
An additional alternative would be Twitch, because you can a lot of these things can simulstream to Twitch as well, and the latency between live and Twitch is like a couple of seconds, because Twitch exists for gaming spaces, and so they have a much better latency speed than a lot of other places. So running games and doing like that so that people could see, and hey, if they want to donate, or when they like, hey, here's $1 to blow somebody up, like cast a fireball on somebody, fantastic. That kind of stuff is always fun. I mean, I'm not looking for the money, but like there's a level of engagement. Like the Twitch audience can talk almost real time with the cast members.
I have seen that when we do certain games for Brodio, there is an option to activate like a Twitch integration for some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I do know that there is like that high level of potential interactivity.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of, again, I think like doing a digital con, the great thing about A&D Con is it is a small con for people who are all there for the same reason. And we bring guests in, but everybody's kind of on the same page. And there's a lot of face-to-face time, and that's what I think is great about it. So kind of replicate that in the DigiCon. Something we do in the Discord every month, and yes, I am plugging the Patreon again, is a hangout. We just generally play Jackbox games or Broken Picture Phone, or some kind of game where Bevan can draw a horrible picture that will keep you up at nights.
It's his gift.
Yeah,
his
it's
art.
his gift. And his curse.
It's our curse.
Yeah, it's our curse. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that wouldn't be difficult to stream. So maybe kind of like just a Jackbox or gaming hangout in the vein of what we already doing every month anyway. But we could just stream that to YouTube. If you're on the Patreon, you don't have the delay. If you're on the YouTube, I guess you just got to work a little bit harder.
Oh my God, I don't want to volunteer somebody for something, but like you're talking about Bob drawing, and like what do amusement parks and other places have? They always have those places you can sit down and have somebody draw a caricature of you.
Yeah.
And we should just have Bob caricature hour.
We should just do an hour of like a Bob Ross show, but it's Bevan Hart.
I can see Bevan sitting down. All right, so what are your hobbies? Karate? I'm drawing you sucking your own dick. Right. What are your hobbies? You like flowers? I'm drawing you sucking your own dick. Or the flower in your hand.
You like sucking your own dick? I think you're funny, don't you?
I think PBS has missed an opportunity there. There could be a weekly art show with Bevan.
Speaking of Bevan sucking his own dick, if you have not seen the episode, okay, fans out there, go back and watch the one we did where we did the art of Authors and Dragons, and we sat down with a lot of Bob's art and had a blast doing a little retrospective on all the artists. But Bob was there to critique his own art, and it was fantastic. So check that one out.
We started this talking about video games. We've brought up Brodio a couple of times. I think that feels like a pretty natural and easy thing to have into the A&D DigiCon, is not just me and Steve per se, but all of us streaming a game. I think would be a pretty fun one. I know we've had a lot of fun with Stumble Guys. The problem there is it is still kind of a all for one thing, but it is very entertaining. We could do something like Fortnite, which I believe is free to play. Keeping it low cost for everybody, and we could all squad up as whatever action options there are, depending on how many people we have. I know Steve and I have absolutely loved the fucking Ninja Turtles game, and we will play the shit out of that with some people again.
Yeah, kind of a Brodio brawl, a Brodio special. That's a good that's a good attraction, I think, for the DigiCon.
Yeah, that's one that we get to have a bigger cast that makes it special and more event worthy.
This DigiCon might just morph into a few of us playing Baldur's Gate 3 for 48 hours straight.
Yeah. Are they doing a streamathon? Nope. No, they just are not. Are they just pissing in bottles?
Slap on some Depends and just go to town.
The Smacky the Bears hit level 10 and Drew is 10 energy drinks deep. If you're wondering who Smacky the Bear is, go check out that Brodio.
true.
You
yeah.
two and like Sandy, who's like she cheats on Destiny with that damn game Baldur's Gate 3, and she's constantly like, "Come over to the dark side, come over to the dark side." I'm like, damn it, I might have to do this now.
All right, we might have Gibby on for the next rodeo game. There you
Yeah.
go.
Slowly poisoning the rest of the cast, stealing their free time like vampires.
I need another game to play and ignore my wife and son. So I need something new.
That actually brings up another good point that I was going to raise is we know
Child
we've got
neglect?
Gibby's Dicey Bastards game. What other potential, small one-off? I'm going to say Everyone is John because that's sort of the example that we all know, but not necessarily that one. What sort of those games have we thought of and enjoyed throughout the years that might be fun to bring back for a DigiCon? I would love to say Inspectors because I think it's really cool, but I also just fundamentally don't think we really understood the mechanics, and I don't have faith in us to get it right again.
But we had fun.
We had fun. I think we left a lot on the table. The more I've listened,
I think a lot of those games we pretty much relied on, Ben kind of leading us through, by the hand.
Absolutely.
I think I accidentally made my character psychologically invincible, but that worked out okay. And I should point out, these questions, dear listener, are not rhetorical. If you'd like to suggest something, please do so in the comments. Please do DM us wherever you may follow us. Please do join the Patreon and give us your money so you can talk to us more directly. You do the work, listener. I'm a tired man.
Yeah, don't make us guess at these things.
Yeah, you've seen what I assume normal people like. It's never correct. Get involved, please do. But Inspector's a good one. Everyone is John is always a nice, fast-paced, and so is Choose Your Own Shingles. That's kind of everyone just gets to be as unpleasant as possible. That's always a nice one.
Both of them are fun and disturbing.
Yeah.
Was Everyone is John the one I played up on that stage with you that one time? It was you, me, and Ben on one side. It was Scott Burtness and the two of the females, girls who were in the Shingles movie on the other side. It was
No, that was Choose Your Own Shingles.
Was that Choose Your Own Shingles?
Yeah, that would have been Choose Your Own Shingles because that sounds like too big of a cast for everybody. Everyone is John.
Okay,
yeah.
Everyone is John is the one where you are each I think it's compulsions in John's head, and you're constantly battling for control. I think I still get a little bit of sass for my tooth obsessed guy I played in that one who was trying to touch, lick, and steal teeth in that order. There's different tiers of obsession, and so you're just basically playing this guy who is not having a great day.
I believe Rick still gets a little bit of fallout for his decision in that game.
God, yes.
Which will
that is the only time I think our Andy listeners basically looked and said, "No,
you've gone too far, Rick."
Yeah.
Remind everybody what that was, Rick.
He might have had amorous intentions towards dogs.
Oh God.
I definitely did not remember that.
I think you blocked that one out.
It's a new addition to the never kill the dog rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops,
I mean,
might
there's
have
a reason
crossed
The
that
Shape
line.
of Water isn't called The Shape of Woofer.
Yeah. As Rick's dog in the background shows us its butthole. So yeah, see, it's just.
Oh wow, you weren't kidding.
I'm not. It was. I mean, here's the thing. There's certain time Kismet is on your side, and that was one of them. So,
Listeners, normally I'd cut this out as kind of not audio relevant, but you should go to the YouTube and enjoy.
In fact, you're going to zoom in on it. Like
he is not.
For Christ's sake, sit down, Axel.
Hey, I'm proud of this. All right, I lick it constantly. I shined it up just for you.
This is my moment, Rick. You sit down.
Shut up, dog fucker. This is my time.
So it sounds like probably a Shingles or an Everyone is John. I'll probably will review the catalog and see if any jump out at us. I'm sure at some point in the course of it, we will sneak in a Jackbox. We love doing those for Hangouts. Those are very fun for the community because the problem with trying to do a game with a lot of people is usually the people have to buy the game, and that's just sort of an ass ache all around. But credit to everyone is Jack. You can run those with just one person paying the cost, so they are very handy for a group dynamic game.
Yeah, and most of them have up to like 8 to 12 players, which is useful. And if you don't get in, you can still be in the audience, so you can still be part of the fun.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been enjoying running on some of the side quests, doing the trivia challenges for some of our sorry, our main cast, and watching them fumble their way through these questions it's fun for me to watch them. So because I get why Alex Trebek always had a smarmy look on his face because he knew the answers. Like, you fucking cretins! Like, oh my god, you didn't know the answer to this that I looked up and knew 10 minutes ago. And I've
You're
been
not
enjoying
holding
that.
a card with the answer. It sounds
Exactly.
like someone's a fucking moron.
That's why I'm the game show host and you're the pleb.
All my times as a child growing up, like, I hated Alex Trebek. God rest his dead soul. But like, I like you smarmy son of a bitch. You just so condescending. But now that I have that power, I get
Who's
it.
clever
And I
now,
like it.
Alex?
Just want to say that MK Gibson's opinions do not reflect authors' draft. I am not trying to bite off that hate mail.
Oh god, like what the Trebek family is coming out, like, oh, Canada's coming for you, Drew.
Another game we've had fun with in the past is one of the well, let's just say the Cards Against Humanity's homages.
Mm. Yeah, the all bad cards. We get some surprising contenders in that. Everybody brings their worst self to the table. That's what I enjoy about that game.
Well, I think that's where we first learned that, like, that you don't want to piss off Emily.
Yeah. Emily's got a dark side.
She will leave you bleeding in a ditch.
You know what's similar structurally, but it kind of has a different twist that I've loved. I actually got to do this at the last live game, was Red Flags. If we can find a digital version of that. Red Flags is sort of it's a dating game style
Ooh, okay.
one where the way we've always played it is we do it like you're on a game show where one person, the judge, is the contestant who is getting woo pitched at them, and the other people around are your 3 or 4 contestants, usually 3. And so how Red Flags works is I think you're supposed to draw 2 white flags and 1 red flag, but again, my friends and I have always played it 2 red flags and 1 white flag because flaws are more fun than features. So
More
the red
realistic,
flags
too, let's be
are negative traits, like has a million teeth or sounds exactly like your mother. And then white flags are like positive features, like is a billionaire or
Sounds exactly like your mother.
yeah. I think has a working spaceship is one of them. So and then rather than it just being like a quick turn of phrase, like the way we do it is you have to role play that character. So you're that contestant, that person who grew up with these specific collection of features. The contestant can ask questions or just kind of roll through, and then at the end they pick who it is. I like that one. It's a little more role play than Cards Against Humanity, and I don't know. I feel like the having to put your own spin on it adds a bit of fun.
That sounds good.
Now,
Yeah,
if you
I've
find a
never
digital
played that
version,
yet,
sounds
but
fantastic. I like those kind of card argument games. We have one around our house. And when we have friends over and we've been drinking, we break out one. I don't know if you guys have played it, called Super Fights. It's another one of those fantastic.
Yes, Super Fights is fun.
If you haven't played it, like, you get a character card and you get a power card. And then you are Stalin with noodle fingers versus Michael Jackson with living hair. Who wins this fight? And you just argue, and then the group has to decide who wins the fight, and it comes out to how well you can argue and think outside the box. And especially if you role play the character, it's a lot of fun. So
nice.
Yeah, we have one here we like. It's called Poetry for Neanderthals. And it's kind of like a Pictionary game where you're trying to get somebody to guess a word or a phrase, except you can only use in order to get them to guess this, you can only give them hints that are 1 syllable. And if you use more than 1 syllable, there's an inflatable club that you can smack the person.
Yeah, there it is.
You can smack the person with.
That does sound fun.
Yeah.
Violence and being inarticulate. It sounds like a very Corby game.
Family violence for the whole family. I am okay.
I would say all these sound great. And something we did at our last live con, which I thought was really cool, is we really made space for gaming. Not just like here's a gaming area, but we like scheduled games with all of the cast to make sure that everybody was kind of trying something new. I bought my Hero Quest, vintage Hero Quest set out. But Bevan was playing what's that game? What's that game that pretends to be communist but is secretly horrible?
Settlers of Catan.
That's the one. Yeah, there was a really cool vibe, and obviously that's quite hard to replicate digitally unless there's a cool digital version of that shit online. We even had somebody trying out a new game at our last con. We should really check in with those guys, see how they're doing.
Oh, if you're talking about Andrel and Aaron Lanowitz,
yeah,
their game, fuck, what do they call it? It's like Slaughter. Fuck, damn it! Dineman and I kept trying to pitch. Call it. No. It was it was a murder game. Like it's only one survival, but Dineman and I kept trying to pitch to them. Just call it Peril because you're constantly getting in and out of Peril. It was an argument game, and the reason I bring it up because Dineman was really good, and every time he played this game, he won. Then I played him and I beat him, and I've retired ever since. So Matt Dineman, you've never beaten me. I want you to know that I'm still better than you, 100% in this game. But no, Andrel and Aaron are like really cool fans. They're cool people, and they brought that amazing game. And I hope they bring it back because I can't wait to play that again.
Hopefully, they got a digital version by now. We might have to yoink it off them for the DigiCon.
Yeah.
If you're listening, present the yoinking opportunities.
I'm just glad you said yoinking, not yanking.
Well, that's
a lot of people on camera. There's plenty of opportunities for that.
Steve Con 2024.
He got his inspiration from TubinCon.
Speaking of cons, what does everybody got coming up? Anything on the horizon that is like in the near future? Any big ones? Any small ones?
I've got Readers Take Denver in April, and then I have DragonCon in August.
Fantastic. Never been there.
It is a lot.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, Jesus, it's a lot. It's very cool. It's very fun. If crowds are not your thing, pack some noise canceling headphones and a lot of edibles because holy shit, man, it is a scene. I usually,
when it's a lot of people, I got to eventually find a time to just kind of slip away and just kind of get in my own space because I love people, love talking, but there comes a point where I'm burnt out and I need to find a hole. I'm an only child, for fuck's sake. I can't deal with brothers and sisters. I need a little hidey hole for a while. So
true. That's what a shadow con is for.
Rick, you got any cons coming up?
Nah, I mean nothing substantial. I'm taking a break this year just to keep costs down. I'm keeping an eye out for any local cons. Like last summer, there were at least 3 cryptid cons in my area that I found out about a week up beforehand. But the problem with these cryptid cons is they're not like a Dragon Con or so where they show every year at the same time. It's like they kind of just happen, and if you're not in I guess their circle, you don't hear about it. So I'm just keeping my ear to the grindstone, and if I hear of those with enough notice to actually get books, I want to do some of those because I got cryptid books, and
that's awesome.
Yep.
Now I've got there's this one con I used to go to when I first started my publishing when I was under a different publisher. It was down in Virginia, down in the Williamsburg area, and it's moved to Norfolk called RavenCon, and I did that a couple of years and I loved it. Then COVID hit, obviously, and bounced around. So I applied the previous year and I got I'm sorry, we'd love to, but we're full. I applied for this year. Sorry, but we're full. I'm like, son of a bitch. And Hartness is like, dude, our friend John Hartness is like, just come to my table. As long as you sing for your supper, I'll give you a space. I'm like, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So John's awesome. And then I'm also going to be a guest down at Con Carolinas this year. So I think that's I think it's in June or July. I have to double check the date.
Usually like end of May.
Is it May? Oh, it's the end of May, beginning of June. Because once April to May, then once the next month, May to June. Yeah. Con Carolina. So for those of us, I saw in the Discords, for some of the A&D folks out there, it's kind of a mini A&D meetup because I know there's going to be John, Ari Carr, Emily. I think Missy Mass is going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm not sure if anybody else is, but I know some of the people who live in the local area are supposed to show up to turn into like an ad hoc hang out with some old A&D folks while we take one around this con. So be sure to come out.
Well, yeah, I mean, Con Carolinas was effectively kind of, I guess, the first test of an A&D con, because they were the first con that basically said, okay, you guys can have space to do your game.
Yeah.
And they never stopped regretting it.
And then
Not
I've
sure
got
of that. Bevan nearly electrocuted everyone.
John
Oh
offering
yeah,
his space as
God, I
well
forgot
in
about that.
September for Capclave in Rockville, Maryland, where Dineman's supposed to be out as well. So we're just gonna just beat him up and maybe take him to dinner on that for that one as well. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know more about what's going on with conventions in America because of just the way I've landed with things than I do in my own backyard. That's something I've decided I should probably rectify because I'm probably missing a lot of opportunities. I figured out recently there's a couple of best-selling authors in Corby. There's like entire writing groups. There's a lot of shit going on that I've paid no attention to at all. Nikki Peacock, NV Peacock, doing currently very well in crime and murder books. Check her out. She's a Corby girl. So yeah, I should really start paying attention, really, shouldn't I?
Dude, there's several in Maryland. Like in Baltimore, there's like Balticon and the Baltimore City Comic Con, and then there's a couple down at DC every year. But it's kind of like you gotta wait for someone to die to get table space. Because as soon as like that con's over, they've already applied for the following year. So you've got to it's kind of wait for that good apartment. You got to go murder somebody to get that table space,
That
or
sounds
know
like
somebody.
an excellent. Speaking of crime books, sounds like a plot waiting to happen. It's Murder She Wrote, but she's the one murdering everyone. Yeah, don't steal my idea, internet. Fuck you.
I'm still waiting for Dragon Riders with perms, buddy.
Yeah, don't steal that either. This way, I come on the podcast. I have great ideas. I do nothing about it. I get offended when they steal it from me. I've been doing that for a few years now.
Oh, actually, I have one more feature. I wanted to say that I'm going to throw this out and kind of ask the audience. So it's a good one for us to end on. For those of you who were at the last live A&D Con, I got to roll out a new segment, a trivia contest. And one of the boons of the way that one happens to work is it can be done remotely. We did it in a big ass room. Everybody got to play on their phone. So I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a way for anybody who wanted to participate. There are ways to do it with larger scale crowds and stuff. So if you were there and you had fun and want to participate, or if that's something that you're going to be at A&D Con and you like the idea of, let us know in the comments or the Discord, because I'm obviously not going to put together an entire trivia game if people don't want to play it. I got shit to do.
I make you play.
Yeah, Gibby already did that. I didn't want to play the fucking trivia game. I hate trivia.
And you've been on there twice. And
Yeah.
you'll be on the third one yet, too. So
I know. Just consistently losing at trivia.
So along with feedback on that, be sure to let us know what features you have enjoyed, what you might want to see on a digital con, that sort of thing. As always, we throw these for you, so we absolutely take your feedback into account. But that will be something we read in the future. For now, we're going to see you on the next iteration of SideQuest or whatever program we pop up on next. Until then, bye.
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 Authors and Dragons is brought to you under a Creative Commons license, meaning you are free to share this material so long as credit is given to those who created it, which is us, the people you just heard play the game. Opening and closing themes performed by the Gore Core 4.
Authors and Dragons!